Alright, continuing from where we left off, we now have the page on BigCommerce for that composite product fix that we're doing on this listing. Need to mark it as not visible on the storefront. We don't want to be updating this listing. We do want to add the weight because this is going to tie into our integration in the future. Weight on this one's probably about that. Save this once you have the weight. Might have to refresh the page. It's the first time I've seen that error. So we don't want that. We do want this. Perfect. Now we're good to go. So it can't sell on the website, but Codisto can still identify it. This SKU now should appear on Vend because it's on this product. And now pretty much Amazon's going to be relying. Oh, we have to finish building the listing actually. Make sure that you finish creating the FBM listing with that same SKU so that it deducts the same inventory on Vend. Just match the lowest for now. The quantity should match what we have on Vend. The goal of this is to make sure that it syncs all the way through all the time. Definitely plug in a US dollar value if this one sells on the US market. And voila. So like I said, we should be able to find this SKU on Vend just by searching it. At some point we want to deactivate these as well, but that'll be done at a later date. Well, it'll be easy to do because all of them will have this little AMZ thing on them. Now the problem with this is it's going to take a little bit to get to the Codisto side, which is right here. If you try and type in that barcode here, oh, it actually popped up pretty fast. Yeah, looks like we're good. All you're going to do is enable and also make sure that the ASIN of that listing is plugged in there. Let's double check. Yeah, that's the right ASIN. Perfect. So you have an ASIN identifier, the SKU that's from Vend, BigCommerce. It's all synced in, and it's also the SKU on Amazon. So once that's all done, make sure this is enabled, save and publish. Sometimes if you're doing multiple of these listings in one go, you want to double click this to make sure that this information is saved. Because a lot of times I've plugged this information in and after clicking this, it doesn't actually change or save on this end. But you'll see that 9 quantity from the inventory being spilled over. It'll automatically make sure that it stays up to date on the Amazon side here. And if we refresh, it should show up there as well. It'll start getting opened. But it is synced with Codisto. That's the goal, to make sure that everything's inventory lines up. So I'm going to fix one more on this example just to look at this one more time. There's like about 4 different white chocolate cookie listings for grenade bars. So this would be another ASIN that we would have to fix. Now we only have to do this with FBM listings, not with FBA listings, because those are a whole separate ordeal, but the inventory isn't needed to be synced with Codisto all the time. So we've done this one. I've personally done this one. You can see the SKU is like a regular barcode. This is an FBA listing, so we're not going to have to touch that one, but I will take that ASIN and make sure that we're listed on the FBM side too. And it looks like we have 2 FBM listings open for it, so I'm going to delete both of these because they've probably been sold in some way, shape, or form on Vend, and we're not going to be able to use those SKUs. And we're going to start fresh with that ASIN to open a new FBM listing. And right here, we're going to go ahead. Let's try using this UPC, but even before we confirm that that's the one we're going to use, sometimes it adds these random 3 letters. Just be aware of that. We need to test this out in here. Oops, without the 3 letters. Oh, it looks like it already exists, so that might be a problem. Let's use the EAN in this case. It could be any SKU, honestly, it doesn't really matter. If you wanted even, you could let this stay blank, let it open with its own SKU, and plug that in. But I like using numbers because it looks like it's the default FBM listing. Match lowest price, that's fine. matter of fact, we can probably go a little higher. Actually, I like to list these no lower than this. We'll stick to quantity 9 because that's what it says on vend. Usually you want to do one less just in case, but that should automatically get corrected once it's synced. And then, assuming that this barcode hasn't been used on vend, we are good. Let's go ahead and, because it's the same product we just made, I'm just going to duplicate that one that we had here. Let's duplicate this. For the title, I always like using the title of that listing that's already there. It helps it identify that as well a little easier. And voila, got the composite. Use the SKU that we just created from. We can close that. So let's plug that in there. Perfect, wasn't in use. Got the 12, same inventory, just a different FBM listing we're trying to open. Oh, the name is probably exactly the same, so we'll just change this to have some spaces, and we're good. And now all these eventually, like I said, we're going to have to deactivate from here, but before we do the deactivate button here, we're going to complete the Codisto sync. So, now like I said, it usually takes a minute once we've published to BigCommerce. This new SKU for the new FBM listing that we're opening right here. Save and finish. Perfect. So now we have a whole bunch of different outlets for us to FBM this one item on Amazon. And the best part is the inventory, as long as we complete this process onto Codisto, will sync every time each one sells. Each one will also shrink in inventory quantity listed on Amazon. So let's see if that showed up. It's going to take a minute for sure. Let's make sure it's on BigCommerce first. Looks like, yep, it made it there. Stock is 9, that's correct. And okay, let's just keep another tab open for Codisto. Listings. It's probably going to take a minute for this to show up, so I'm going to work on the next fix. And the way I've been finding these fixes, by the way, is when we're in the search suppressed and inactive listings, everything that goes out of stock that's merchant fulfilled is either out of stock because it's synced and it's stealing the information on quantities of inventory from vend, or it's out of stock because we had to manually put it out of stock. Or it could just be not synced and we actually have inventory and that's why it's showing up here. I'll give this one as the first example actually, because I bet we still have some delicious strawberry gold center in stock somewhere. So if I take that SKU, plug it in on here, looks like it is somewhere on a product. Was it 5245? Yep, 52459 is what the SKU was. That's weird. Why is this missing a digit? Aha, we have an issue. So we're going to have to actually relist that one and then fix the barcode. And that poses a really big issue because I bet that's not scanning properly either. But let's start fresh. So we're going to go add a product right here. We're going to start with, we can probably use the SKU that's already on that actually for this example. Let's steal that SKU as long as it's not already created on Amazon. And so, where were we? We stole that. And we're trying to open this. So hopefully it should sync and steal that inventory figure. Match the lowest price. And we're going to put it in a random quantity. That should update once it's synced. We should probably try selling this in the States. Make sure we're selling it for enough is all. And save and finish. Now, this has to be turned into the composite product that we talked about, unless it's the forefront SKU for this item. So if I save this, there's a bit of an issue with, I think, the integration right now and updating inventory quantities for this. So sometimes that happens when too many things go negative. So let's just update inventory quickly here. Assuming that all negatives are at 0 or more. Bet you we do have some of this one somewhere. But that should fix some of the negative issue. Now let's republish this. Hopefully see if we can get some sync action happening. Now, I just noticed that for variants, it gets a little more tricky on Codisto because it tries to look for a whole bunch of different products in one. And you'll get this little error where it says these SKUs are associated to more than one. So this is where it gets tricky. Frankly, I think the only way to deal with this is actually to start a fresh SKU. So I fucked up the FBM listing here. I'll have to delete this one. Okay, we don't want that one. Matter of fact, we probably don't even have that barcode in the store because it's supposed to end in 9. So what I'm going to do is start a completely fresh new composite product. 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to make a composite product just to be able to make this fix happen. So, start this again. I'll let it generate its own SKU because we're going to use that for the composite product this time around. Like I said, we probably have some inventory. I'm just not 100% sure how much. But we'll stick to that for now. Now, once I have this SKU, I can make a composite product out of that on Vend. Just deduct one of the strawberry ice gold or gold standards. Not what I wanted. Ooh, we have 2. That's going to also create problems. So we need to condense some inventory here under the proper barcode. I'm going to use this one, and then we will fix it so that there's only one strawberry variant with 2 barcodes under it. But let's get all the inventory under this one first. So, let's get the title to match that listing. This is a really good example because it involves a lot of fixes in one. So we've got that up. Let's publish this. And while we wait for Codisto to find this one, let's fix the inventory. There's the 5.9 barcode. Okay. So we have delicious strawberry and delicious strawberry. Let's go ahead and delete this one because we have a bunch of inventory associated to it, but it's not getting deducted properly because that barcode does not exist. So let's save this first. Go back to it. Now we have only one strawberry flavor here. I can start editing the variant name even. People don't need to see that information on there on the website. So let's delete that. Now we can, okay, that's scanning properly. What we'll do is leave these barcodes there because there's multiple packagings available on the market for that flavor of gold standard. Let's make sure our inventory, there's some in there. I know for sure we have at least 3 of these around. You guys probably have at least 1 at Burnaby. I'm not 100% sure about Poco. But eventually this 5 total tubs there will plug onto our SKU for a composite product that we need to make. Oh, sorry, I think I ended up making it already. Right? That's correct. Okay, so we have it made. We're waiting for that to get onto Codisto. In the meantime, we needed the white chocolate cookie one. So we had a few different ones. Let me see, I think it was this guy. We were looking for the barcode on Codisto. Still hasn't shown up. Let's try refreshing the page. Yeah, it takes quite a bit sometimes. So we have that we'll come back to. I know we're going to have the delicious strawberry we have to fix as well. Hold on a sec. Okay, let's see if we can find this barcode even on BigCommerce. We have some edits to make to it now that it's on here too. Make sure it's not visible on the storefront. Update the weight. And we are good there. We can save that. Oh god, again, refresh the page and that should fix this. Awesome. Perfect. Now let's see if this maybe can be found on Codisto. Neither. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit. Well, we have the correct inventory now there, which we're probably going to have to do a count for this flavor everywhere. But we have 2 listings now that we're working on. Fudge brownies discontinued here, so we got to delete this listing. That is done for. Gotta make sure that doesn't sell again. Now, what else do we have? I believe we might need to make sure this is erased. Yeah, that one's gone. And that's the new listing we just made. Perfect. Back to these out of stock items. So, looks like we are out of stock on the vanillas. And that's a really important listing for us, actually. We sell a lot of that one. So let's see if the SKU is available to be synced in Vend first. Now, just because you typed it in here doesn't necessarily mean that we can use it. You gotta always start with the composite product. So AMZ, take the title. Oh, that's awkward. Put in some details that shouldn't have. And this is Dymatize. Composite. That's not the SKU. We want the new FBM SKU that we're about to make. Or sorry, let's start by seeing if this SKU is available. And looks like it's not. So we're going to bypass that. Now, yeah, no product I think originally showed up when we did this. Right? Okay, good. Yeah, so there's no product out there that exists. So, we need a new FBM SKU for that ASIN. Here we go. Maybe we can use this. Let's find out. No, we can't because it's already in there. So start fresh with something new. Let's just let it make its own. We can throw this in. And we can let that auto create itself. I'm just doing this at 1 right now because I don't know what the stock is, but we want to make sure that we sell this for enough. If it's in the States, save and finish. And we're good there. We have ourselves a SKU, so we can make our composite product with that. Plug in the Diamondized Ice 100 Vanilla. Make sure we have the right size and flavor. Don't use anything with an ASIN name in it. Cool. Plug in a regular price similar to that it'll be sold at. And publish away onto BigCommerce. Okay. Now, it's a good thing to keep an eye out for weird things like this. It says that the website inventory is going to be 18, but vend inventory is 11. Anything negative will never get factored into website inventory, so you got to make sure we fix that right away. I know Burnby just did inventory, so I don't know how the fuck this just happened. But I have a feeling it's because we don't actually have 7 here, so that was a scan out issue. Which means there's not even 6 left, but we have 0 after today. So it should be tops 5 in inventory. Okay, now we've got that composite product we just made. Perfect. And inventory's been adjusted, now it lines up. Let's go view this on BigCommerce. This is also part of the reason the security token error happens, is it thinks we are timed out, so we logged out. But we're going to make this not visible. Plug in the weight, save away. Now, Codisto is the last part of this. We got to make sure that one of these guys shows up out of the last 3 listings that I just tried to. Aha, voila. That means the white chocolate cookie we can do after this as well. So we have everything available. We need to make sure that the ASIN for this SKU on Amazon gets plugged in. What was it? Voila. We have an ASIN and a SKU associated, and all lines up. Right here. And save and publish. Perfect. ASIN plugged in, enabled, and we are good to go. Now let's go to the white chocolate cookie that we had open. So I believe it was this one here. We're going to enable it. We're going to open this bad boy up and make sure the ASIN's in there as well. Save and publish. And notice how it didn't enter the ASIN. So sometimes you have to refresh the page, hit reload regardless. And now do it. See, nothing saved for the second item we tried to do. Sometimes it just bugs out like that. So we're going to enable it, make sure the ASIN code's in there, save and publish. This time it worked. Perfect. And there you have it. Everything gradually now, when you go open it up and look at the inventory for everything here, it starts to line up automatically. Anytime something needs to get deducted, it'll get deducted, or if it needs to be, if this should have been 9 and it's 8 instead, after about an hour or two, every hour or two, Codisto refreshes and it updates inventory for everything. So that is the way it will be. And the last one would be this guy. Let's see if it maybe made it into Codisto already. Wait, that's not right. Not quite. But that concludes the little session of how to fix any errored order items and their listings on Amazon and BigCommerce and Vend.